Greetings and welcome to a just brief message that I will share this morning. And we're going to look at Luke 17 verse 32, a very short message, and it says, remember Lot's wife. This was a message from Jesus, and anything that Jesus says should be considered high priority scripture. Yes, I say again, high priority scripture. When Jesus speaks, he doesn't speak from a place of not importance. And it's very key importance that he said, remember Lot's wife. There's not a lot of scripture. We're going to go to Genesis where they talk about Lot's wife, but I want you to understand the messages of Jesus. They're very important, and they're there as a blueprint and as a map for believers, things to avoid. And let's go into it very quick. We're going to start in Genesis 19 verse 15. The NIV says, and when the morning arose, then the angel hasted Lot, saying, arise, take thy wife, thy two daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed in iniquity of the city. Now, I'm going to do this in two parts. First part, I'm going to talk about haste, but in a different perspective. There's one of my favorite scriptures that don't make haste lest he falls. But this is a different perspective. The Bible said the angel quickened Lot to hasten your step, meaning that what he was saying to Lot, you have to move very quickly. Quickly, suddenly, you have to move with a sense of urgency. And this is something we understand in this modern time. Everything is quick, and we love the fast pace of life. And it is very detriment that we don't make haste unless God says so. Because in haste, a lot of things happen. I don't know about you, but whenever I'm in haste, I tend to forget things. I tend to miss out on something. You know, if I'm making haste to leave for a meeting, or I'm late and I'm hasty, sometime when I arrive at that meeting, I check to see, and most of the time I would leave something of critical importance. But this was the word of the Lord to Lot. Make haste. You know, in life, there are some things that requires haste. There's some swift decision and separation and things that the Lord will instruct us to do that we don't want to do because we are waiting on the right time or the right setting to leave. Some of us are in some relationship that the Lord is saying, make haste and depart from it. But we are waiting on smoother path, on smoother grounds to exit. There are many things, a few things critical in my life that I had to make haste. Some swift decision, some things that I wanted to do more smoothly, planned, prepared, and a better way of exiting. And this was a situation to Lot and his family. This wasn't an ordinary situation where they could have migrated from that city in a peaceful manner or an orderly fashion. Where they could have write to their neighbors and say, we are leaving the city. Where we could have packed everything in a more organized fashion. And in this modern age, call a moving truck and pack up all the furnitures and important things so we don't miss out on anything. But the word of the Lord came to Lot and his family. Hasten your step. We don't want to hear that. Sometimes we're in some relationships. Sometimes we're in some situation and environment that is so nice and peaceful. And you have gotten so familiar because it was home for Lot and his wife. But the word of the Lord came and said, hasten thy step. There are many relationships that I had to slip out of with haste. It didn't ended in the way I wanted it to. But because the word of the Lord came and it said, hasten, shift, move, separate. And when you move in haste, some things tend to get left behind. And now let's look at this very interesting instruction from the Lord. If we look in Genesis 19 verse 7, the instruction came to the Lord. The instruction came to Lot and his family. Let's read it. Flee your lives. Don't look back. Don't stop anywhere in the plain. My God. Very strict instruction. And this was an instruction that sometimes we have to leave in haste. And when you leave in haste, one of the things I do whenever I make haste, and after you're probably on the journey, it happens to us, and you're in the car, you know you leave in haste and you're driving to your destination, but on your mind, you're so consumed, what may I left? You're checking and you're memorizing what you may have left of importance behind. And this happened to Lot's wife. She stopped on the way. Like many of us, we haven't turned back yet, but we stopped on the way, contemplating on what we have left behind. Thinking about the house, the furniture, the clothes, the things that have importance that I've left behind. But the instruction of the Lord was to not stop on the way. But she took it a step further. She didn't just stop. She turned and looked back and had an act of disobedience. She began to look back in her past. And some of us have looked back and stepped back and turned back into relationships and places where God would have instructed you to flee in haste. But we are looking back, checking to see what of importance we have left behind. Checking to see if we have made the right choice. Checking to see if we have packed everything. But God sent a word to Lot and his family. The city is going to be destroyed. and I'm preserving you. Follow my instruction. Make haste. Don't stop. Don't look back. But Lot's wife did the opposite. And Jesus recorded it in Luke. We have just read it. Remember Lot's wife. A woman that have disobeyed the very instruction of the Lord. He have given them a way out, but she have chose to stop and contemplate, like many of us, because we have gotten so familiar and gotten so used to that relationship, used to that environment, when God is saying, leave. And don't just leave. Don't look back. Don't stop in the way. Wow. God bless you. Now, stay tuned and connect for part 2, where we are going to talk about a different perspective. God bless you.